It's British land, which is crucial to national security for the US and the UK, and we are paying Mauritius to take it off our hands. So it's the equivalent of you giving away Hawaii to Mauritius and you paying Hawaii for the privilege.
Breaking developments from the United Kingdom have set off alarms far beyond Westminster, reaching Washington, the Pentagon, and the wider Western security community. What critics are calling one of the most reckless foreign policy decisions in modern British history is now unfolding in real time. The British government is preparing to transfer the Chagos Islands, a British overseas territory, to Mauritius, while reportedly paying up to £30 billion to do so. At the center of this storm is Diego Garcia, a military base of immense strategic value, jointly operated by the United States and the United Kingdom. For decades, Diego Garcia has been a linchpin of Western power projection across the Indo-Pacific, the Middle East, and beyond. It has supported operations in Afghanistan and Iraq, counter-terrorism campaigns, intelligence gathering, and nuclear deterrence. Yet now, in a move that has stunned allies and analysts alike, Britain appears ready to surrender sovereign control. The magnitude of this decision is hard to overstate. One commentator described it as the geopolitical equivalent of the United States giving away Hawaii and paying another country to take it. This is not disputed land reclaimed after occupation. Mauritius has never exercised sovereignty over the Chagos Islands. Legal historians have described claims that Britain is merely returning the territory as misleading at best and deliberately deceptive at worst. The islands were separated from Mauritius before independence, administered independently, and have remained under British control ever since. Still, the UK government insists the transfer is necessary. Necessary for whom, critics ask, and at what price? A last-ditch appeal to Donald Trump. In an extraordinary development, the Chagosian government in exile has bypassed Westminster entirely and appealed directly to former U.S. President Donald Trump, urging him to intervene and block the deal. The appeal comes in a letter written by Miss Lee Mandering, the first minister of the Chagosian government in exile, a body representing descendants of islanders who were forcibly removed decades ago. Sources familiar with the matter say the letter was sent over the weekend and is expected to reach Trump imminently. Its tone is urgent and deeply personal. Mandering warns that the agreement does not merely betray the Chagosian people, it threatens both US and UK national security. He argues that once sovereignty passes to Mauritius, control over Diego Garcia will no longer lie solely with Britain and its American ally. Instead, Mauritius would gain leverage over access, operations, and long-term strategic decisions surrounding the base. That is where the geopolitical warning bells begin to ring. Why Diego Garcia matters. Diego Garcia is not just another overseas facility. It is widely regarded as one of the most valuable military assets in the Western arsenal. Its location enables rapid deployment across multiple theaters. Its isolation ensures secrecy, security, and operational freedom. It has hosted nuclear-capable bombers, intelligence platforms, and critical logistics hubs that underpin U.S. global reach. Any compromise to this base is not merely regional, it is global. The Chagosian letter warns that Mauritius maintains close diplomatic and economic ties with China and Russia, raising fears that foreign influence could seep into decisions affecting Western military operations. More troubling still is Mauritius's membership in the African Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone Treaty. Under that framework, certain nuclear-related military activities could face legal and diplomatic challenges. In practical terms, critics argue this could mean that in a future crisis, Diego Garcia's use as a nuclear deterrent or launch platform might be contested, delayed, or even blocked. This is not theoretical. It represents a structural vulnerability created by political choice. The Chagosians speak and are ignored. Perhaps the most striking aspect of this story is the position of the Chagosian people themselves. Many were forcibly removed from their homeland in the 1,960 seconds and 70 seconds. For decades, they have sought recognition, compensation, and the right to return. Yet now, as their islands become the subject of a historic geopolitical decision, they say they have been shut out entirely. Mandering says that many Chagosians want the islands to remain under British sovereignty. They believe alignment with the UK, and by extension, the United States offers the greatest chance for stability, security, and a viable future. Instead, they see their homeland being traded away in a legal political settlement negotiated without their consent. The letter to Trump makes a direct appeal. Give the Chagosians a voice, halt the deal, reconsider the consequences. In a striking gesture of desperation, Mandering even suggests that the Chagosian people would be willing to honor Trump by naming an island after him should he succeed in stopping the transfer. Symbolic, perhaps, but revealing of how high the stakes feel to those watching their homeland slip away. An unanswered question. As this story gathers pace, one question dominates political debate on both sides of the Atlantic. Why is Britain doing this at all? Mauritius did not demand the islands. The Chagosians did not ask for this outcome. The strategic argument runs overwhelmingly against it, and the estimated £30 billion cost is staggering. Yet the government presses forward. In the next section, we examine the legal pressures, international rulings, and elite networks that critics say lie behind this decision, and why many believe ideology, rather than national interest, is driving one of the most controversial deals Britain has ever contemplated. International rulings versus national interest. The dispute over the Chagos Islands is not simply about territory. It is a collision between international law, elite legal networks, and what many see as the United Kingdom's core national interests. For decades, the islands were administered directly by Britain after being separated from Mauritius prior to independence. Over time, Mauritius advanced claims that the separation was unlawful. These claims culminated in rulings by international bodies, most notably the International Court of Justice, which issued an advisory opinion suggesting that Britain should relinquish control. Critics argue that such opinions are being treated as moral commandments rather than what they legally are, non-binding advice. The government's willingness to surrender sovereignty and pay billions raises a fundamental question. Why override the wishes of the Chagosian people in favor of an international judgment that carries no legal force?